I'm not sure what happened. But we are going to wait till people jump back on. Looks like I lost the connection. But I was telling you guys about the virtual Facebook party that we had on Friday. So make sure that you guys are following the live party every Friday. Looks like the parties is probably going to be at 9 o'clock on Fridays. Give me a second. Let me bring on the co-host. All right, guys. Give me a second here. I am trying to bring her on. Be patient, be patient, be patient. I keep hitting accept. I brought her on the first time, but for some reason it is not bringing you on right now. So the maid, I am not sure. Hey, Southern Maid, do me a favor and tell me what's going on your end when I keep accepting you, because I keep accepting you, but it is saying you're unable to join. So I'm not too sure what's going on your end. Okay, guys, be patient with this. Lord Jesus. I'm not going to put that back up there. I'm not sure what's going on. It keeps saying that you're unable. Okay, let's see. So maybe that'll help now. The Wi-Fi. Okay. Yeah. George, you are absolutely right, because it brought her on the first time, but now it's not bringing her on. You may have to send me a request again. I'm not sure. But either way, guys, let me just tell you a couple of things while we work on that internet in this space of internet connection. But nevertheless, make sure you guys have downloaded the 105.7 The Face app. Go to your app store, download the 105.7 The Face app. Make sure that you are following us every Sunday at 7 o'clock here on Talk.Queens. Make sure also that Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, you are following us on Facebook. Also, we had one last Friday. It went very well, and it was just a spur of the moment thing that we did. So I did a Facebook live virtual party. Like, I was bored Friday, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna jump on live. And then in that moment, I sent out something that says, who's gonna go on live with me? Well, I had a very good response, and then I asked people to send their playlist, and so I played music from people in the background based on their requests, and we just had some fellowship and conversation. So guys, if you guys want to join the Facebook virtual party on Fridays, please go ahead and send me your playlist of music so that I can already have it on the playlist for the virtual party. Bring your drinks and your food. If you want to go live with me, that's fine. We'll rotate people out going live. Just trying to find something new to add to the Amanda Miller Talks profile. But today, we're scheduled to talk about choosing, and I may have to just do this on my own on today because I'm not sure what's going on with the internet. But she really was on here earlier. Like, she was literally on here in some kind of way. I cannot bring her back on with this internet connection, Wi-Fi connection, but we are scheduled to talk about choosing the one that loves you or choosing the one you love. So I'm going to try this again and go loud with Southern Man. And we'll see if that happens. So the subject today is, do you choose the one that loves you or the one you love? And what that means is really, guys, even though we love a person and we are together with them in a space of dating, that person may not have all the qualities or characteristics that you need to fulfill you in that space of relationship. And so you may love them, they may love you, but there are some challenges in that space, right? But then you have this person that loves you, and you may care about that person, but you don't have the love that you have for the other person. And that person really loves you and have everything that you may want in a mate. What do? Do you choose the person you love or choose the person that loves you? I know at the virtual party, somebody stated that a lot of times what we do is stay in situations where we know we're comfortable, as opposed to going outside of our comfort zone. My mama always said, get someone who loves you more than you love them. Love that, Nikki _T74. And I was asking somebody that earlier today. I was asking a guy, and he did say, I would choose the person that loves me, because you're eventually, if you care about that person and they have everything that you are asking for in that space, you'll eventually start to, I guess in my mind, if you love a person and that person care for you, and even if that person loves you, y'all love each other, but again, there's some challenges there. And we're talking about dating, and we're not talking about exclusively. Do you give up on the fight with hoping the illusion of what that person potentially can be? And I think a lot of times that's what we fall in love with, the potential, as opposed to who has that in the now, current state. Talk to me out there about that, guys. I think you can love a person and that person can love you. But if that person isn't willing to give you what you need to fulfill you, it leaves room for someone else to come in and invade on that space. What do y'all think? I'm going to try to move Southern Maid. Maybe it's the internet on my end. So I'm going to try to move just to see if I can get I'm out of town, guys, so I still wanted to do the podcast. So I'm going to just move just a little just to see if I can get, if the Wi-Fi is going to do a little bit better. So y'all bear with me. See if I can bring her on if I move in another location. Okay, let's see if that helps with bringing her on. Hold on tight. Hold tight, Southern Maid. I'm going to try to see if that helps any. When you're loving them more, you will lose your dignity and self-respect because this person is not returning your love. I do believe that Nikki _ T74. When you love a person more than they love you, sometimes I do believe you can kind of lose, I don't know necessarily your dignity and self-respect. I think you do a lot more than you normally would for the person as opposed to the person that loves you. I think you do typically do more for the person that you love as opposed, because you're constantly trying to prove your love to that individual as opposed to that person trying to pour into you and y'all pouring into each other equally. You're constantly trying to pour into that person, but there's something missing, right? So I'm saying, like, if I need confirmation of your love by a text every day, a call every day, a good night, or hear your voice, the simple things that stimulates and fulfill me, and then you don't do those things and then someone else does those things, that's going to fulfill you and give you more of a eye or direction for that person. What do y'all think about that? When you loving them more, okay, Kim, I already said that. What do y'all think about that? Guys and ladies and gentlemen, what do y'all think about that? You might have to send me the request. Okay, let me see. All right, so the maid, I sent you the request. It's best to love who love you. If it isn't equal, it's a waste of time. So what do we call equal love? What do we call equal love? Because I tell people all the time, people love different. Because your love languages are different. And so if I love you by words of affirmation, you may love me by gifts. And we show it differently. But I think that's kind of where we go wrong a lot of times, is because we have to love that person the way that they're telling us they need to be loved. I don't want to be loved by gifts. If my love language is words of affirmation, then those gifts are appreciated, but they means really nothing to me. So what do we call equal love? Think about the song Smoking Out the Window by Bruno Mars. After all I have done, this bitch got me. Southern May, I sent you the request. I just really think it's where I am in this location, because I sent the request. Yeah, so what do y'all think? So 105.7 The Phase, thank you for being in the building with your girl, Amanda Miller Talks. I really appreciate that. So I want to hear from you guys, especially when you say equal love. What does that look like for you guys? And then just having a little more dialogue about, if you love someone, do you just give up on them though? I guess that's my thing. Like, what do you do? Because you love who you love. Like, you don't wake up overnight and say, I no longer want to love this person. But I do believe that if you do not give that person the attention that they need based on the way they're willing to be loved, you leave room for someone else to love that person the way that they need and want to be loved and stimulated and fulfilled. And that other person may love you, but they're not willing. I think sometimes people forget to come out of their comfort zone. And learn how to love a person in another way. Because in your past relationships, you may have loved your old mates a certain way, and that worked for them. But it may not work for the person you currently is with. And so you have to shift and adjust and come out of your comfort zone to love a person that they need and want to be loved. What do y'all think? Yeah, help me out. I need to hear from y'all like that. And I know I got to give y'all time to type, so I'll give y'all time to respond. But I've said time and time again, I do agree. You got to be willing to, I guess, I think about, if you love the person if you choose the person who loves you, do you really get out of them? Is it fair to them that you're not giving them what they need? Because it makes me think, okay, so if I choose the person that loves me, but I care for them but don't love them, then am I cheating them out of something? What do y'all think? Where's there a balance, and who's going to be, is there anybody that's not going to be happy? Boss Sauce 229 just joined. We're talking about, do you choose the person that loves you or the person that you love? And even with that person, somebody said earlier when I brought that question up, well, you can't make anybody love you. And it's not about making that person love you. That person loves you, but that person isn't giving you the fulfillment of the things that you need to fulfill and make you whole. So, do you teach that person how to love you if they're willing, or do you choose the person who already loves you and try to fulfill and stimulate them to where they need to be? Because I guess, is it forcing yourself to love somebody if they love you but you just care for them? I guess that's my question too. But that other person can be a smooth trickster though. It takes 6 months for a person to show their true colors. And the grass isn't greener. However, it's a time that you have to chunk up your deuces. It's all about respect. I agree to that. I totally agree to that. I totally agree with that. Because when you go into it, everybody put on their best costume. Everybody put on a great act, a great show. And it's easy to fall in love with the illusion or the physical attraction, the sex, and all of that bundled up into one. And then as time go on, you start to really see who and how that person really rock, how they move. But then at that point, you've already fallen in love with that person. What do you do? What do you do? Because you just turn your love off. We love who we love. But you are also right. I agree. At some point, you do have to throw up deuces. Why settle for someone you don't love just for validation? That's not fair to either person. Leave the one who don't love you alone and don't lead on the other if you don't want them. So I want to clarify that too. It's not that the person don't love you. It's just that that person. So I could love, like I was saying, I could love you, but not be able to give you those things that you desire to be whole, to be fulfilled. Like if your girl like flowers, and I don't know, if your girls like flowers, I don't know why a man wouldn't be willing to buy flowers. But, I mean, some men, for whatever reason, I don't know. I think they think those little things right there are meaningless, and so they don't do it. But if that's the way she feel like helps her in that space of validation of love, then why not? But so my thing is, like, that person may love you, but not necessarily love you the way that you need and want to be loved in order to have that love validation. Then the other person may buy you gifts, may buy you flowers, may give you words of affirmation, may be sustainable where they can help you financially, all of those things, and love you. But you may not just really love them, but you care about them. Loving, okay, but that's what I'm saying. And I'm so sorry that and thank you, Southern Maid, for still being on here and adding topical conversation to the dialogue. And y'all, please go in the chat and help with the comment and help that engagement. But that's, hold on, let's see. But that's what I'm saying. Loving someone the way they need to be loved is a choice. Choosing not to do that isn't love, it's manipulation. At that point, a conversation needs to be had. And if you're not comfortable with the discussion, it's time to go, no matter how much it hurts. Because in the end of the day, it won't get better. I'll always, you know, I'm true to the, I know. And so I don't know if it's necessary manipulation, but I do think it's a choice. I think we choose not to do in life. Life is about choices. Anything we do in life is about choices. And so, like Nikki was saying, if there's a conversation that needs to be had and that person choose not to go out of their comfort zone and fulfill you in those spaces that you need to be fulfilled in, because some men merely say, well, you know I love you. They'll say that. And so I believe, depending on their background, some of them just don't know what love looks like. And so what do you do in that space? Because people will say it. Well, what more do you want from me? You know I love you. What do you do? What do you say? What do you do? I just think it's hard. And like Kim says, no matter how it hurts, I do believe, because it's I don't know, when you love somebody, you just love who you love. And it is very hard to just walk away from your feelings. What do y'all think? Because it's easier said than done. So, what do y'all think about that? And Southern May, I am totally. I'm on my end. It keeps jumping up saying your request is there. I keep trying to join you. You say choosing to actively ignore my needs isn't loving me. That's true. I agree. I totally agree. Because those things, and it may seem small to people, but we all have ways that in which that helps us validate our love, or at least to validate the love that a person has for us in the way in which they show it. And like I said, everybody have their different love languages. And so with that being stated, if I've stated that, if I've given you the blueprint, if I've said it, you actively chose to ignore that, what reason, I don't know, then that means really it's an ego thing or something that just keeps you from not being able to do some of the smaller things that makes a person accept. And I'm sorry guys that I paused. I'm still trying to accept her request so she can come on live. I'm like, is it Missouri? The show me state. Oh. Kim said she like Missouri, the show me state. You gotta show me. Action speaks louder than words. You can say you love me 1,000,000 times, but talk is cheap. What have you done to prove it? And that is true. That is true. You're absolutely right. That is so true. And we all know that action speaks louder than words. And so going back to the question then, if you choose the person that loves you, then how do you bring yourself to help to give them what they need? Because then that person needs to be stimulated and filled in a space of love too. And you already know that they love you and you may care for them. But how do you get to a place where you find that love for that person? Because again, even though that person loves you and you may care for them but not love them, then are you cheating that person out of what they need in that space? You gotta think about that. I mean, love is so complicated. It's just complicated. And people say it's easy and it's not complicated, but I really think it's a complicated thing. Well, let me ask you guys this. Do you think you can love two people at one time? What are your thoughts on that? Can you love two people at one time? Hey, Kim. Thank you for joining, Miss Seaborn. And if you can, because I see Southern Maid said absolutely that you can love two people at one time. Okay, then loving two people at one time, how do you balance that? Like, at some point, you got to do something. At some point, you got to do something. You got to make a decision on how you rock, and you can grow to love them. Love is an emotion. You have to pick out all the things you love about them, because the reason could possibly be, now I did hear that, that if you love two people, and you totally can, that one person can be a distraction. And absolutely, you can love two people. Wow. Wow. Just wow. Just wow. Yeah. I do believe you can love two people. Most time people say that you can't love two people, but I think people are different. So you love different things about the individuals. I think it comes to a point in time where you have to do exactly what Nikki said. You have to pick out the things that you love about each of those people. You have to decide what works and fulfill and sustain you, what both parties are bringing to the table that you need in your life. And although it may hurt, you have to just make a decision, choice, and move on. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you have to commit to both. And you definitely don't have to commit to both, but everybody wants to be in a committed relationship. Most women, let me say this, most women. So you have to decide where that commitment lies. That you're absolutely right. Definitely don't have to be in that commitment to both. Because if that's the case, then at some point somebody is lying somewhere. And you definitely have to just figure out what that looks like for your life. You know? Yeah, I was still trying to bring you on, and I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Like, we were there, and my phone dropped, and all of a sudden, I haven't been able to bring you back on. But for those who are just joining, we are talking about do you choose the person that loves you or the person you love? Meaning, there are people that if you're in a situation where there's someone that loves you and you care about that person, but then there's also someone that you love and that person loves you, but that other person isn't fulfilling and sustaining the things that you need in your life to be whole and complete. And I'm not talking about happiness. I'm talking about there are things as a mate or as a woman, as a man, that we all need and look for, that we need to make us whole, fulfilled, validated with that person's love. And so what do you do? Who do you choose? And where do you go from there? Nikki said, I have been in a situation where I thought I loved two people, but one turned out to be lust and not love, and made me lose out on a good man. I regret my decisions every single day. Absolutely. And I agree. That's the whole thing in a nutshell, losing out. Somebody said on the live on Friday, and I'll pitch it again, guys. We had our first Zoom live party Friday on Facebook. So we played music, people had their drinks. So we're asking you guys to definitely join our Facebook live party on Fridays, possibly at 9. But Nikki, you are absolutely right. And someone said on the thing, when you put up your guard, you potentially, and guard your heart, you can potentially lose out on a good person. And I wanted to have this conversation because a lot of the things that they said on the live on Friday brought it up in my mind about this conversation, because if you do not really just sit down and think about what it is you need, you could potentially lose out on a good person and regret it for a long time. And definitely I've been there, done that too, Nikki, as far as having to make a decision on, oh no, I have to reopen my oh, okay, but not okay, that's fine. Hey, I've been looking for you. I actually looked and searched your name trying to find you, because I was like, where's my girl? Haven't heard from her in a while. And so yeah, definitely I understand. So definitely, you know, my inbox me, and we'll talk. Even I'll inbox me, and then I'll inbox you here and send you my actual phone number so we can stay connected until you're ready to rejoin your page. But Calvin _Butler 77, from a man perspective, talk about that for me, if you're willing. Do you think you can love two people at one time? Do you choose the person who loves you versus the person you love? But you are absolutely right, Nikki _T74, is the fact that I think that it happens more than we like to think, is that we typically choose the people we love and lose out on a good person from the person who truly loves us. What do you guys think? Do you think we typically choose the person that we love as opposed to the person who truly loves us? Because I think a lot of times, I really think that's what we do. We choose who love us, who we love, because we feel like at some point those things that we need, that person will come around. And lust is a big word, though, Nikki. You are absolutely right. Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I love what you said about you pick out the good things about that person and focus on those things in order to build your care into evolved into love. And so, yeah, I totally agree to that. So the mate, you still out there with me? Talk to me. So guys, here's what I'm thinking, because this has been great dialogue, some really good conversation that really is eye-opening. Experience is a good teacher. When it all boils down, I realized that I didn't love that other person at all. It was just fun. I think sometimes, do you guys believe that you can have like a strong connection of chemistry with a person? When I say, so we all have our dream person of who we're attracted to. Like we had that conversation before on the live. about who, what kind of attractions, what kind of men we like. And I think it's very easy to fall in love with a person that have the traits and features, let me say that you like. So you have this strong attraction to that person. Then, as we talked about, the combination of interaction, if you have a chemistry connection, a sexual chemistry connection, it is so easy, like Kim said, to fall in love, but is it really love as opposed to lust, as she mentioned? And then it becomes fun instead of anything that could be sustainable for the future. I know for me, every time I choose what my heart wants, I never regretted it. Great statements. When I was with both, and then the one who loved me left, the chemistry for that other person instantly went away. That's how I knew it was lust. What defines it, though? What defines the lust? Let's talk about that. What defines that? Because I know we need more. We need more in our life. When we talk about love, we need more than just a sexual connection to fulfill and sustain us on the road to a committed relationship and a journey of something sustainable for the future. But it's so easy to get the two mixed, love and lust. So what separates the two? Talk to me about that. What separates the two? I took the other person for granted, and all of the sneaking around made it fun because we all want what we can't have. Is human nature. Yeah. I agree. Do you believe that if a person truly wants you and love you the way that they say they do, if they give up on the fight and then come back in the picture, do you question their reasoning for trying to come back in the picture? Or do you look at it as this person really loved me because they're still willing to fight or try to figure it out? What do y'all think? Great point. I like that. What is your life like without them? If you're okay, it may be more lust than love. Okay. If the person's willing to fight, that is a sign of love. I agree, Kim. I totally agree. I totally agree. I wish we had a guy on here that would help in this space, because you ladies have been amazing with this dialogue and conversation. I need to know the intent behind the fight. Or the person may not want you to be with anyone else. And that's true. But let me say this. Initially, or the person may not want you to be with anyone else. That's true too, Kim. That's why I say you have to be mindful of people's motives, right? But in the beginning, this person seemed as though they weren't willing to put up the fight because there was someone else in the picture. And so they just bowed out gracefully. And that's respectable. That I respect it. But recently, they've come back around, and I guess now so-called trying to prove their love, but I don't know your motives. Like, why were you not willing to fight for it, although you knew that person was in the picture? Yeah, motives. Okay, twin them. Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. So now my radar is up. Like, there can be way too much resentment when you come back around. Yeah. And that's why I asked that question. Do you choose the person that loves you, have shown you in more than one way, they are in a place where they're able to contribute to your life and make your life better in a financial space? And then this other person, they're not so good in that space, but they love you, you love them, and they've shown it, but you love them both. What do? There can be way too much resentment. I say that from experience. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I do know that when you have history with a person and you guys have went your separate ways for whatever reason, and then that person comes back around time after time again, it's like, what are your motives? Because is it because you no longer want to run the streets? Is it because you and the person that you were with initially broke up? Is it because you felt like you can't live life without that person? What is it that makes you double back? And a lot of times people say they don't allow people to double back. What are you guys' thoughts on that? And also, too, what if you've always loved that person even before the breakup? If you're willing to match energy, you have to be willing to put back a brick wall and decide what it is that you want that will break that wall down. No spinning the block, absolutely not. Got you. No spinning the block, absolutely not. I get it. It's tough. Matt, I need your help. I just said I need a guy's perspective. So Matt, I need you. I said that. So the conversation is, do you choose the person that loves you, or do you choose the person you love? Can you love two people if you're choosing the person that, what are your thoughts from a man perspective? If you love two women, can you love two women as first and foremost? Also, if there was a woman that loved you, you loved her, she loved you, and then there's another woman that you loved, would you choose? Who do you choose? Do you choose the woman that loves you or the one that you love? And do you think at any given point in time someone gets cheated? Any of the three parties? Do anyone gets cheated in this situation? Let's talk about that too, guys, right before we leave. Do you guys think anyone gets the raw end of the stick in this situation? Because somewhere down the line, I think someone... What about you guys? And I'm going to wait to see if someone is typing. For me, I think at some point, you do have to make a decision. And I think that at some point, someone is going to eventually thank you. End up with a broken heart. A man chooses the woman he loves. I have so much to say on this topic, but I'm driving. Okay. Understood. And be safe, bestie. But yeah, I love three people right now. So I think. But I had to sit down and think about it. One is extremely charming. One is hopeless romantic. Oh. And one showers me with gifts. So is it really love? And that's what I'm absolutely, and that's the thing, Kim, that's the whole thing. How do you define, and everybody is different, how do you define that love for you though? So my thing is, I know love is more than gifts, but if that's the way that some people love language. And so I won't say it's wrong, but I know it's bigger than gifts, right? One is hopelessly romantic, signs of affection, love language. And one is extremely charming. And so that's the whole thing. Like, what defines the fulfillment of love for you? Like for me, I know it's bigger than these things, but flowers, hearing your voice, having conversations, and they don't have to be long, lengthy conversations, because everybody have their days and have to go about their merry way. But definitely hearing from that person, just to say good morning, just to hear them through the day, to say how you doing, just to hear it at night, to say good night, words of affirmation, hey beautiful, things like that. Those type of things mean something for me. Now, it may not mean anything to the next female. And so when people come out of a relationship and what they've been used to, it may not have mattered to the next female. However, it may matter to your new person. So you have to shift and adjust to what's currently before you. Exactly. It's whatever your love language is. I feel that you will never find everything you want and need in one man. I agree. A woman. I agree. Totally agree. So that's a great way for us to segment out. You would never find everything you want and need in one mate, period, male or female. So you determine what's important for you, what fulfills you, what sustains you. You have dialogue and conversation with that person. And if that person is willing to come out of their comfort zone or give you those things that you need to fulfill and sustain you, then that's, for me, I think, is a sign of their way of showing their love for you. If they don't, then really it is a waste of time. Nikki _274, thank you so much for joining. I have missed you and the great dialogue that you have and add to the show. So hopefully you'll be back on Facebook and can join those topics. Guys, topic on Facebook is coping with the loss of a loved one. So we will be on Facebook Tuesday at 7. So that is our current time on Facebook, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Sunday, we are still here at 7 o'clock. Southern Maid, I am so sorry I could not get you back on the live. I think it's the internet connection where I am. But guys, don't forget to download our mobile app 105.7 The Phase. Tuesday 7, Amanda Miller Talks. Sunday 7, Talk.Queens. Guys, it has been amazing. Love you guys. There's a lot of amazing people out there. If you want to become one, have an amazing day, guys. Make sure you do a day on, not a day off on tomorrow. Have a great one. Goodbye.